Check. All right. Thank you for tuning into another episode of Neighborhood Stories. Today we have Josh, aka Text, one of the founders of the BBoy Federation, which is an amazing foundation just built around hip hop and like getting kids involved. And, how long has the Fed been around?
Almost 6 years. 6 years in September.
Congratulations on all this.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
First time.
Who'd have thought, right?
Like, yeah, it's kind of huge. So
who'd have thought?
You help kids get to battles. I don't know, you really kind of put yourself on the map, you know? It's one of those things. So, but yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself, Josh, besides that.
So a little bit about myself. So I'm 33 years old, maybe like 33 and a half. I've moved. Are you older than me?
I'm 34.
Oh yeah. So I'm young finally. That makes me feel good. I think you're older than me. Tarzan's older than me by like a month. I think like Sid and Bangkok are older than me, and Pyro. So, but
that's what I'm thinking of.
what's a cool story about myself? So maybe a lot of people don't know this about myself, and it's kind of interesting, but I grew up in a military family. So my father was an 82nd Airborne paratrooper, Army Special Forces, for a long time. It was a really, really cool experience to grow up that way. So, you know, I was originally born in Kansas, and then we lived in North Carolina for a long time, and then we lived in Germany for like 5 years. Yeah, so it was really cool. So we lived in Germany between 85 and 90, moved around a few different places. I was like 5, so then I was like 5 years old to 10 years old.
So
yeah, it's like a decent amount of. What was really cool is, you know, when you're in it, when I'm that age, it's just your life. As I got older, you know, I sort of realized like, oh, those experiences are really cool. So we moved to Utah in 1993, and so, you know, it was kind of a unique thing to move here. And this is the first time in Utah that I lived in a place for more than 2 or 3 years at a time. You know, so it was actually, that was like a big thing for me growing up is I was really jealous of friends who had like gone to elementary school, middle school, and high school, you know, with all the same homies, right? And they all grew up together. I didn't really have that experience. I think part of that maybe is impacted the Fed and the things I've wanted to do with the Fed, because I like this idea of having a community. Like, we're 5 or 6 years deep, so the kids that were 15 when they started are now 21 and entering this whole different part of their life. And so it's a really cool thing to see, and it's something that I haven't necessarily had my whole life growing up. And so, you know, it's also been a really great experience to say like, oh yeah, I've traveled to different countries. Like, if you travel in general of any kind, whether it's to different states, different countries, different cities, it's really good because I think you can meet different people, and it's one of those things where you might have a preconceived notion or like maybe like a prejudice or a bias against somebody that you don't know. But you know, as you get older, I think life is less black and white and it's more gray, right? And so it's I don't like this type of person, but I've never met that type of person. Yeah. So if I meet those people, a lot of times you're like, oh, okay, cool.
It opens up your world, right?
Exactly. It's like, rather than thinking that someone's black and white, that they're always this or they're always that, you know, everyone has a different story, a different circumstance. So I think it's really interesting. You know, growing up and living so many different places, I think was a really good benefit for me in that way, because I got to kind of experience that younger, and I think it's helped me as I've gotten older.
And I think as we aged, I mean, back in the day, when you beef with somebody in the B-boy scene, or like, you know, you're battling somebody and you just hate each other, it's almost like you don't give a chance to get to know them, and then all of a sudden, like, you just become homies.
Right,
older,
and that took a long, I think that process was actually really hard for myself and even like our crew, and even our scene, because our scene is, there's guys that have been in the scene for so long, but having a scene is still very young. And so it was a big deal for us to learn like, oh, okay, so in the cypher I can hate you, but you know, at Walmart, you know, I can say what's up to you, or you know, if your car's broke down, like we can chill and hang out, and you can have that. There's like the personal relationship, and then there's the b-boy relationship, and they can exist separately. They don't have to, but they can.
I remember going on a date, going to the movies with my date, and then like seeing, you know, my rival, and like having him call me out right there. It's almost like.
Yeah, it took some time, I think, to learn how to separate those lives. And one of the things I'm really proud of is our kids nowadays are really, really good at that. So yeah, they're really, really good at creating that separation. Like they have there's the jam and there's the stuff that goes on at the battle, but then outside of it, you know, they help each other and they interact with each other, and you know, are good at that.
We've worked together for a little bit. I don't think I've ever taken the time to really say, yo, thank you for what you do.
Thank you for what you do.
Like the culture is big now, and you know, we really
no DJ, no scene. That's the end of the story.
So many DJs out. So I mean, really united.
Peace, Leo. Yeah, we're not talking to you though. We're doing this interview about how much we don't like Leo.
Yeah.
So another thing Leo does is like, don't listen, yeah. So then there's one time Leo
fucked up the jam.
Oh.
Yeah, to go there.
Shit. Peace, brother.
I'll see you next week.
Wait, you judged, right?
Yeah.
Wait 2 minutes, I'll owe you money. We paying all the judges, so I'll owe you money.
Really?
Yeah. Just give me
thank
2
you.
seconds.
Okay,
Wait 2 minutes.
All right. Well, thank you again for being a part of this. I might edit that out, but
No, yeah, edit Leo out. Real talk, though.
Now we got that. But you gotta put his face like that good. But yeah, I think what you've done is really kind of flourished. It seemed like hip hop was big in the 90s, late 2000s. It kind of went away for a little bit from what I saw.
Yeah.
And then like you really brought these young kids.
I think the idea of hip hop is starting to come back. Like hip hop music has always been popular, but
Atlas, how old is Atlas?
I don't know. There's kids here. I mean, there's literally. There's probably literally a 20-year age difference between the youngest and oldest person in the one-on-ones tonight.
Which was nuts.
Which is really cool.
And he took them out and he has so much attitude.
Right, exactly. It's so great.
Because of, building this culture that he can go battle. Like,
Right.
Today I was, we practiced in a basement somewhere.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, I think there's a lot more people right now interested in hip hop as a culture. So this idea of like creativity and building something and getting good at something and practicing and showcasing your talent, your art. I think that aspect of hip hop is starting to become more relevant to not just like our scene, but even like our city in general. There's a lot more random people who will show up to parties and things that are just there for the music, versus being there for the dancing.
I think that's everything. Thank you for tuning in. Let us know what you think. I mean, we went from traveling the world, getting to know people, to like understanding like all of it really ties into like how hip hop is so diverse. It's taking from everything and just joining it together. And people like Josh here make that possible. Perfect. Thanks. Have a good one. And